Welcome to spring, everybody. We're here for our monthly update, our Eagle Eye. We're going to get rolling right away here. We've got a couple of great guests that are going to share with us about some exciting stuff coming up this month. So we're just going to get rolling. A couple of things we want to acknowledge from this past month. Our food service department did receive an award for excellence in food service. So it's been quite a year feeding our students through distance learning and in person. So we want to take a moment and thank them for everything they've done in the past year. Cade Salmons and Brooklyn Paulson competed at state tournaments in their respective sports. Wrestling, Cade obviously winning a state championship at 138 pounds. So congratulations, Cade. Quite an accomplishment there. And then Brooklyn Paulson competing at the state level in the vault competition and representing our schools very well. Very proud of both Cade and Brooklyn and all of our activities participants through the winter seasons. Our greenhouse, actually the greenhouse class took place in the fall, but we've got some plant science classes that are starting the greenhouse up again here for this spring for our plant sale. And you can see kind of in the grow lab that they have some of those plants getting started. So we're excited to have that opportunity to grow those inside with a little more space this year. And then finally, some of you saw on our social media posting, our Avid One course has to do with service project. And this year they opted to send care packages to troops overseas. And those care packages were received about a week and a half ago. And then a note was sent to Mr. Elder to acknowledge thanks to the class and Mr. Elder for packing those packages up and sending them to actually Africa to National Guard troops. Lieutenant Commander Chip Rankin actually was the person that sent the note. He's actually the superintendent of Minnewaska schools, who is also in the National Guard. So great opportunity, and thanks to Mr. Elder and your class for everything you guys did to organize that. Reminder, we've got links to all of our important information for the middle high school, our school website, our student handbook, our Skyward, Schoology, etc. All linked right here in the presentation for your ease of clicking. All right. This month, we're excited for spring, as is Mr. Schloman there. That's a couple of year-old picture, but obviously we're excited to get out for our spring activities. We want to run through our calendar, briefly update everybody on our COVID absences, as well as our attendance policy as we swing into the spring. Miss Nibby is here to give us an update on prom 2021 update. And then finally, we're going to have a guest, Mr. Johnson's going to talk to us a little bit about Eagle Manufacturing, as well as some of the other classes that are going on in the Career and Technical Education Center. Miss Walter Matson's going to talk to us about the schedule.
Hello, everybody. We are coming into the Easter break, which will be this week, Thursday, Friday, and Monday, April 1st through the 5th. Everyone will enjoy their time to get refreshed and get ready to start our fourth quarter, which will be April 6th. On April 8th, we do have a pre-ACT test going on for some of our 9th graders and all of our 10th graders. April 8th also is the first day of our rotation for the 8th grade electives for their third rotation. And then we have prom. Saturday, April 10th, which Mrs. Nibby will give us more information on. April is also the month that we always start our MCA testing. So as you can see on the calendar, we have the reading MCA testing starting the week of the 12th, and we also have makeup days scheduled on there as well. Please make sure that on those days of the MCA testing that your child gets to bed at an appropriate time so they are well rested so they can do their best on the MCA tests. We have a school board meeting also the evening of April 12th. April 15th, we have the statewide tornado drill that happens every year at 1:45. And then also April 26th, we have another school board meeting, and that starts the week of our MCA math testing, and the makeup dates are there listed as well. Again, encourage your children to do their best and to get well rested for the MCA tests. Just going to talk a little bit about the attendance. If you have any questions at all ever on the attendance, there is a link here on this slide in our student handbook that gives a full breakdown of everything as a guidance for the attendance policy. As always, if your child is sick, please make sure that they stay home and they communicate with the office like they always do, and also that the teachers are emailed as well. If they are out for a suspected case of COVID or a close contact of a positive case, the students, if they are feeling well enough, are expected to attend their Google Meet that is set up by their teacher and complete all of their coursework. If the child, of course, is not feeling well enough to join the Google Meet, please make sure that the office and their teachers know that as well. Students who have unexcused absences or tardies will make up that class time, and that is before school or after school. And we work with them to make up that class time and communicate that with them as well.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Walter Matson. At this time, we'll have Ms. Nibby is going to join us to help us learn a little bit about what's going on for prom this year. Welcome, Ms. Nibby. How are you today?
Good, thank you.
So obviously, Ms. Walter Matson just stated prom is Saturday, April 10th. That's a couple of weeks earlier this year because there was a conflict on the normal date of that last Saturday in April due to some section competitions for some activities we have going on. Actually, I think it's a state competition for one of our winter activities. So we've moved it up a couple of weeks to better meet the needs of our students, knowing that we didn't have prom last year. First of all, Ms. Nibby, tell us about the theme for this year's prom.
The theme that they chose this year is Cloud 9. So kind of a walking on clouds, fancy themed decorations. So should be pretty nice.
So clouds everywhere is kind of what you can expect to see kind of hanging from the rafters and things like that, correct?
Yeah, we're going to be doing more like we're on top of the clouds. So not so much hanging over us, trying to just make it look like you're walking on the clouds and, up in Cloud 9. And there's going to be birds flying in the sky. So
Awesome.
Hopefully it'll all come together really nicely.
Well, I will definitely leave the design elements to you. Regarding the schedule for the night, prom has to look a little bit different this year, unfortunately, but still we can have a great event nonetheless. So tell us a little bit about what's going to be taking place and what we can expect for timing that evening.
Well, the Grand March is slated to begin at 5:30, so a later start time, but we're keeping everything within the school for prom this year. So, you don't have that travel time to account for. So we can start things a little bit later than normal, which is nice. And then you're going to be going through Grand March and then heading straight to dinner, where kids will have dinner and entertainment at the same time. After that, kids will be traveling in pods to various stations. So kind of combining sorry about that. So kind of combining the events you would do with after prom along with like the dance. They become separate stations, and kids in their respective pods will be rotating from station to station to station in a given amount of time. So it should be, it's different, but I think that it still maintains a lot of the spirit of prom, and that is the most important thing this year.
Yeah, and I think we have to remember that prom is kind of an event for students, the first time in their life to kind of have a formal dress up type of event where you dress formally and act formally and have a formal dinner and things like that. And those elements we can still maintain within the prom we're having at our school, I believe, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So you mentioned a little bit about the potting of students and moving around to different activities. And I know you've worked with the prom parents, the junior class prom parents, as well as some of the students in the junior class. Tell us about the steps that we're going to be taking to make sure that the students have a rich prom experience, but also going along with that it's a very safe evening for mitigating any risk to any additional exposure.
Well, mitigating risks and low risk exposure is our biggest priority. So we really want to make sure that the pods stay in their pods and there's no crisscrossing. So it'll be very much kind of like a clockwise or counterclockwise rotation so that no pods mix with each other. And we do still want to have kids be able to be with their friends. So there will be a sign up for pods. I mean, there's going to be only so many spots within pods, but they'll be big enough pods that I think nobody will go without their friends. So be looking for signups come probably the beginning of next week is probably this when I think things will happen. Reminder that kids should be signed up for prom by April 2nd. so that we can make sure the caterers know how many kids are going to be there. Otherwise, then hand sanitizing before and after each station. If there's any touching of materials in the stations, like if there's card playing, kids are going to have to hand sanitize before they start touching the materials. We'll be switching out materials that kids will be using. And then, of course, there's the dance. We'll have to make sure kids are still social distancing during the dance, but it will be the same DJs that we've used in the previous years, and they are lots of fun. And I think that it'll still be a great time, regardless of, social distancing and mask wearing.
And one piece that we learned last week is kind of what the definition that the state would prefer for podding. And our plan is to pod groups of students based on the amount of total students attending the prom. So let's imagine we have 120 students attending prom. We can have 4 pods of 30 students, and that's kind of like a classroom. And then within that classroom, the state would like that we have groups of 6 students who are kind of identifying as close contacts right at the beginning of the night. And those 6 students within that group of 30 kind of do their activities together within that pod. So when it comes to the dance, those 6 students can dance near each other, but we don't want that group of 6 to mix with another group of 6 so that we don't have a spiraling effect of if there is a positive case a few days after that. So that's one of the steps that the state is asking that we take. And I think we can do that within our plan and still sort of have a dance like we would in previous years. We can't necessarily all have 120 kids in a dance at one time, but we can dance within that potted area and then have them doing different activities as well. So any final notes today, Ms. Nibby?
Just a reminder that, last year there was no prom. This year it's going to be different, but it's still prom. And it's important to remember that, yay, we're having prom. So let's all just keep a really positive outlook on everything that we have to take. And we're just doing it to be as safe as possible for you.
All right, very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
To wrap up this month, we're going to highlight one of the exciting programs this year that's kind of new to Windham Area Schools. That's our Eagle Manufacturing Program. But also along with that, we want to talk a little bit about how our new CTE Center has benefited other classes that are going on in the industrial technology world. So we welcome Mr. Johnson at this time.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, very good. Mr. Johnson's actually got a class of students in his classroom right now. So we're going to have him kind of walk out in the CTE Center just a little bit and give us some highlights. But first of all, Mr. Johnson, can you talk to us a little bit about how Eagle Manufacturing went this year?
Yeah, it went really well this fall. We were lucky to have a good group of kids that kind of helped. They played a big role in getting everything moved back in, getting the shop set back up. And I was really proud. You can see on the screen now some of the products that they made this fall. So it was a really good experience for those kids, and we hope that we can continue to build off of that first semester of Eagle Manufacturing.
Yeah, we could do a whole slide presentation of all the great products that you guys made, obviously. So and one thing we did this year is we actually expanded Eagle Manufacturing into 2 semesters because we found that just having it in the fall wouldn't have been enough time for our students to really create the products that the community was demanding. So we're excited that was just open this year within the school, but in the future to open that up to the community. Is that right?
Yeah, we're open to the community right now for some projects, and we're looking for work right now. So if people have different ideas, we'd be happy to take their orders. So.
And how can they place an order, Mr. Johnson?
So if they go on our Facebook page, Eagle Path Manufacturing, and send us a message there, or by emailing Eagle Manufacturing at isd177.com, they can place orders there or request a quote from us that way. Very
good. So talk a little bit to us. I know you don't have Eagle Manufacturing in this particular class period. Talk to us a little bit about the other classes that are also being taught in the Career and Technical Education Center and how they're benefiting from the increased space as well as the equipment.
Yeah, so for example, right now, and the reason why I'm not out there, it's pretty loud. I'll go out there in a minute. We have our metals class going on right now. We have students working on the last project for Q3, which is a metal art project, and we're going to get to see some examples of those. So it's been really a blessing in Metals One to have this extra space where we have each one of those red machines out there is actually a welding table that has a ventilation system built into it. So it's been really nice to have that. And then here in the classroom, something that we're going to move into in Metals 2 is some CAD programming on our CNC plasma table. And that's not something that we've been able to do in the past. And it's awesome to have computers in here for that class. And then in our woods class, that shop looks very similar. But this last fall, we had construction in the fall, and we had enough space. You know, we were building this shed in November and December. We had enough space to build a full-size shed inside when it was cold outside. So we were really fortunate to have that.
Yeah, before we head out into the shop here, because I know it's going to be loud, and our focus there is just going to maybe be highlight some student work. Maybe talk quickly about some growth areas you see for the future for not just Eagle Manufacturing, but all of our industrial tech classes in general.
Yeah, you know, we're really looking to hopefully incorporate more with the programming piece of it, and really work on utilizing our new technology to its fullest potential. So excited for that, and hopefully we can continue to expand and grow Eagle Manufacturing every year and use those Woods 1, Metals 1, and those other classes to help inspire kids to be a part of that program.
Very good. Well, maybe we can see some examples of some student work.
Yeah, we're going to head out right now. So like I said, the students are working on their metal art project right now. There's a couple of projects here that I'll highlight for you. Man, it's probably pretty loud.
That's all right.
We have Toria here who's working on, she's welded horseshoes together. This is going to be a boot rack when she's finished. So pretty awesome project. Behind her, you'll see our, this is our CNC plasma table. Some different student projects have gotten built on there. Zidane he's built a really big project. He's working on making a grill, actually. So really awesome project there. We'll get another one here in just a moment when they finish up welding.
And the nice thing this year too, Mr. Johnson, is you've got windows along inside your classroom, so you can be in there and kind of shut the noise out and still see exactly everything the students are doing, right?
That has been a very nice thing to be able to see out into both the shops while students are working. We'll see if we can take a look at one more project here before we head out.
Sure.
That actually might be it. I guess that they were still in the middle of welding, so we might not be able to take a look at that one. So
that's all right. That's all right. So that's your Metals 1 class, correct?
Yep, correct.
Awesome. Well, any final notes you want to make here, Mr. Johnson?
No, we've been really lucky with you know, how smoothly it's gone to get into this new facility, and we can't wait until sometime in the near future when we're able to bring in the general public and have them check this place out. And it's really been a good learning space for our students, and we're really thankful for it.
Yeah, awesome stuff. And I know course registration is kind of going on right now for our high school students, and they're really excited about getting in the CTE Center and taking some of those courses. So thank you, Mr. Johnson. You guys have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
That brings us to a conclusion. I want to wish everybody a great April. It's an exciting month for us here to get our spring seasons underway, and have a great month, everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye.